Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, your weekly download. This week is absolutely packed. We're going to dive into the wild AI arms race, figure out why your wallet's feeling a little lighter these days, and cover a really serious security flaw that you need to know about right now.
All right, so here's what's on the docket today. We're kicking things off with the AI arms race. Then, we'll talk about why everything suddenly feels so expensive. After that, it's a deep dive into the smartphone battleground, followed by some cool new gadgets and gear. And we'll finish up with something super important, staying safe and private online. Let's jump right in.
Okay, first up, the AI arms race. I mean, it feels like you blink and AI is suddenly smarter, faster, and just everywhere, right? It's weaving itself into everything we do. But all this speed, all this progress, it comes at a cost, and we really need to talk about what that is.
And that really brings up the big question, doesn't it? Is all of this evolving just too fast? I mean, on the one hand, AI is turning into this amazing personal assistant, this incredible creative tool. But then you flip the coin, and the line between what's real and what's AI-generated is getting so blurry, it's almost impossible to tell.
So a perfect example of this is something Google is calling agentic AI. Now, this isn't your standard Q&A stuff. No, this is about giving AI an actual task. You could say something like, hey, find me a vegetarian Italian place with a patio for 2 tonight around 7:30. And the AI, it goes to work. It'll scan OpenTable, Reezy, all those places, find what's open, and boom, take you right to the reservation page. It's basically doing all the annoying legwork for you.
And this right here, it just perfectly shows the two sides of the AI coin. You've got the promise, right? The genuinely helpful stuff, like the new camera coach on the Pixel 10 that helps you frame your shots perfectly. It's basically like having a professional photographer whispering in your ear. But then, there's the peril. AI videos are getting so convincing that the old tricks to spot them, weird-looking hands or people not blinking, they just don't work anymore. Now, experts are saying the best tool you have is your own gut. If something just feels off or a little too perfect, you really have to dig in and check the source.
But there's another cost, one we don't see as often, the environmental one. As these AIs get bigger and bigger, they get thirstier for power and for water. Now, Google tried to get ahead of this, putting out this stat that a single text prompt to its Gemini AI uses just 5 drops of water. I mean, that sounds incredible, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, hold on a second. Experts jumped on this almost immediately, saying that number is, well, it's pretty misleading. And here's why. It only counts the water used directly to cool the servers. What it conveniently leaves out is the much larger amount of water used indirectly by the power plants, usually gas-fired, that are pumping out all the electricity those data centers need. Like PhD candidate Alex de Bries-Gauss said, with Google's claim, you only see the tip of the iceberg, basically.
So, speaking of costs, let's move from the hidden ones to the ones that are hitting you right in the bank account. It's not just you. It feels like everything is getting more expensive. And yeah, that includes our favorite tech and entertainment.
All right, let's break down the damage, shall we? In the streaming world, Apple TV Plus just shot up by 30% to almost $13 a month. Over in gaming, Sony's tacking an extra $50 onto the PS5. But wow, the real shocker here is from Tesla. They just made a $15,000 Lux package mandatory on their top-end Cybertruck. The new grand total? Almost $115,000. Yeah, ouch is right.
And speaking of pricey hardware, let's switch gears to the smartphone battleground. This space is always a slugfest, right? And the next big matchup is already taking shape. It's Google's new Pixel 10 versus the upcoming Samsung Galaxy S25.
Okay, so take a look at the camera specs here. The megapixel counts, they look pretty close, right? But the real story, the big news for the standard Pixel 10 is that it's getting a real-deal telephoto lens for the very first time. And check out that optical zoom. We're talking 5x on the Pixel compared to 3x on the Galaxy. In plain English, that means Google's going to get you way closer to your subject without the picture turning into a blurry mess.
But hardware is only half the battle these days. Google's secret weapon is its software. They've got this new ProRes zoom that uses generative AI to literally rebuild the image when you zoom way in, past 30x, letting you get a decent shot all the way out to 100x. And then there's this kind of hidden upgrade, something called higher PWM dimming. All you really need to know is that it changes how the screen flickers to control brightness, and for a lot of people, that can mean less eye strain and fewer headaches. It's a huge under-the-radar improvement.
So why does any of this actually matter to you? Well, that ProRes zoom means you can finally get those amazing clear shots of things that are super far away. And that higher PWM dimming, it might literally save you from a headache after scrolling for hours. But the bigger picture here is that the smartphone war isn't just about hardware specs anymore. It's all about who has the smartest AI behind the lens. All right, let's pan out from just phones for a minute and check out some of the other new gadgets and gear that hit the scene this week.
So, Meta's family of smart glasses just got a new cousin, the Oakley HSTN. Now, they're going to cost you about $200 more than the Ray-Ban version, but you are getting some serious upgrades for that money. We're talking a jump to 3K video quality, Oakley's amazing prism polarized lenses included, and the battery life is doubled to 8 hours. But, and this is a big but, there's no option for prescription lenses. For a lot of us, that's an instant deal breaker.
And speaking of things you wear on your face that cost a lot of money, a new challenger to the Apple Vision Pro has just popped up in China. It's called the Vivo Vision, and yeah, it looks pretty familiar. But just look at that price gap. We're talking under $1,400 versus Apple's $3,500. It's even lighter. The big question, though, is whether we'll ever see it for sale outside of China.
Now, for all the gamers out there, Microsoft is finally trying to fix one of the most annoying things about handheld gaming PCs like the ROG Ally, and that's the clunky Windows desktop. A brand new software update gives you an Xbox full-screen experience. Basically, it hides Windows completely and pulls all your games from Steam, Epic, you name it, into one slick console-style library. It's a massive step in the right direction to make these things feel less like a tiny PC and more like a true handheld console.
Okay, for our last topic today, we've got to talk about security. And please pay close attention to this one. A really serious vulnerability was just discovered, and it affects a tool that millions, and I mean millions, of us use every single day to keep our online lives safe. The attack is called clickjacking, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A hacker hijacks your click. They trick you into clicking on something totally different from what you think you're clicking on. Imagine they put an invisible, malicious button right on top of the close button of a pop-up ad. You think you're closing the ad, but you're actually clicking their hidden button.
So here's the scary part, how this was used against password manager extensions in your browser. You land on a shady website, and it throws up a fake pop-up. You move your mouse to click the X to close it, but what you don't see is an invisible login form layered right underneath it. Your click doesn't close the pop-up, it triggers your password manager to autofill your credentials into that hidden form. And just like that, your username and password get sent straight to the attacker. It's so simple, so sneaky, and honestly, pretty terrifying.
Okay, so what can you do to protect yourself, like right now? First thing, this attack specifically targets browser extensions, so using your password manager's separate desktop or mobile app is the safest bet. Second, go into your browser extension settings and turn off the autofill feature, at least for a while. Just copy and paste your passwords manually. Third, just be super suspicious of any weird pop-ups. And finally, the most important one, check for updates. A lot of the big companies like 1Password, Bitwarden, and LastPass are already pushing out fixes, so make sure you're running the latest version. So, let's wrap this all up. We've got AI becoming our new co-pilot for, well, everything. Our gadgets are getting these incredible upgrades, but our wallets are definitely feeling it. And all the while, our personal data is constantly at risk from some seriously clever attacks. You know, it's a lot to keep up with. And it leaves me with one final thought. With tech getting this powerful and this tangled up in our lives, are we really ready for this ride? If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.